Welcome again to the Liberty Cause. Today I have with me Jeff Brower. Jeff Brower is currently running for the position of Volusia County Chair. This is part of the Volusia County Council. Jeff, can you just give us welcome, by the way? Can you give us a really quick kind of tell us what does the chair do? What's the job of the chair?
Job of the chair is to guide the county council, all 7 members in it, to give them equal opportunity, fair opportunity to express the business that they need to talk about in representing their 5 different districts, and then we have the 2 countywide, the chair and the at large. But we follow Robert's Rules of Orders, and we make it possible for everybody to speak and to do the people's business in a legal way.
Okay. Now, the reason that I have Jeff on is last week, and there's going to be a video coming out within the next day or so. Brandy White and I sat down and dissected the video of the council meeting that happened last week, where she got physically removed for having a sign. And I had sent out an email, and a lot of people, probably about 3 dozen people were copied on that email. And of all the people that I emailed about this, Mr. Brower was the only one who actually replied to me. So we kind of talked about it a little bit back and forth on email, and I reached out and invited him to come on via Skype. And I just want to get his thoughts on what went down. I mean, because it was the county chair, the current county chair, Ed Kelly, or as I call him, King Kelly, that had Ms. White removed unlawfully. So tell us what you think about that really quickly.
Well, really quickly, is I'm surprised that I had a lot of people contact me, which is both in calls and email, that were concerned about this, that had seen it. So I went in and watched the video, but after I watched the video, I contacted Brandy. I called her. I had seen her at the Deltona City Commission meeting, so I knew who she was. I had talked to her there. So I called and got the whole story, the part that wasn't on video, and that part was really disturbing. It was intimidation, and in my opinion, it was illegal, and that's not a stretch of an opinion. So when you contacted me, I thought this deserves some attention, and so that's why I responded. I believe that the people need to be heard, that their voice is important. That's why I'm running. That sums up the whole reason that I'm running, so I'm glad that you contacted me.
Well, and I think a couple of things that really bother me about this whole thing is we have gotten so far away, not only from the Constitution of the United States of America, but our own Constitution right here in Florida. Article 1, Section 4 of the Florida Constitution, freedom of speech and press. Every person may speak, write, and publish sentiments on all subjects, but shall be responsible for the abuse of that right. And listen to this carefully, no law shall be passed to restrain or abridge the liberty of speech or of the press. So when I read this, the first thing that comes to mind is, and it says here, but shall be responsible for the abuse of that right. Well, the abuse of that right is not coming in, holding up a sign that says what you think, whether that have, whatever language you may choose, because the Supreme Court has opined on many occasions, especially in Cohen versus California, that the language we choose is the language that we choose. And the government has absolutely no authority to define what language we can and cannot use. The other thing that really bothers me is the fact that when King Kelly, after the cameras went off, and he had Brandy removed when the cameras weren't rolling, the deputy that he used to do this did not say no. My job is to defend the rights of this resident, not to defend your feelings. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's what really concerned me in talking with Brandy, because they were, I believe Ed was pretty careful to make sure when he did that, he did it off camera. He did it when the cameras weren't running. And the deputy should have a body cam video, and I would be interested in seeing that to compare it to Brandy's account of what happened, to have these two large men come, and it had to be perfectly intimidating to her. And she's not a scary little woman, but she said that it brought her to tears, that she was afraid. So I was, not only was I disappointed that Chairman Kelly decided that those were his seats, those were his chamber, and these were his rules, and we would run according to his rules. That's not the chair's job. The chair's job is to follow the law, as you have just pointed out. And it's equally important and disappointing that first, that the deputy was put in that position, but second, that he didn't refuse to be the strong man for the chair. I would not put somebody in that position to break their oath of office, and that's concerning.
Well, and to your point, we can go back to our own Florida Constitution, Article 1, Section 1, political power. All political power is inherent in the people. The enunciation hereof, certain rights shall not be construed to deny or impair others retained by the people. If we go down to Article 1, Section 5, right to assemble. The people shall have the right to peaceably assemble, to instruct their representative, and to petition for the redress of grievance. Well, that's exactly what she was there for. She was there to instruct her representatives and to petition for grievance. And again, we can go back to, appellate court decisions, Supreme Court decisions. When we hear the words right to peaceably assemble, basically peaceably means that you're not burning the place down. Nobody is causing physical harm. That doesn't mean that the crowd, the people, again, back to Section 1, the people who where the inherent power is, if they're in there, they're yelling, they're shouting you down, maybe it's because you just weren't listening. I mean, and that seems to be where we're at today.
Yeah, and we're not allowed to. I was shocked when I went to the Deltona City Commission meeting that I had to walk through metal detectors, because I guess the residents of that city are not trusted. It's just it's out of hand that the people that are actually serving all of us, the residents, the taxpayers, the people that live here, that make a living here, that pay their salaries, are kind of swept aside, and we're shown that really what we have to say does matter. And if you don't say it in exactly the way that we want it said, we'll toss you out.
Well, and they're going to have to get over that. They're going to have to get over that real fast. The reason you're walking through metal detectors in Deltona is because Heidi Hertzberg and a couple others up there are afraid of words. Heidi actually used to read a statement prior to public comments, basically explaining to the people how they were allowed to speak to the commission. And let's just say that, sometimes you have to challenge that. I did. And she no longer reads that statement. But again, she's afraid of words. Her and a couple others up there, they don't like it when, and what is the problem with government? That they just can't stand it when the people, again, Section 1, all political power is inherent in the people. But when the people want to speak, oh no. No. We're gods. You don't speak to us that way.
Yeah. Well, the county is big on having workshops. Maybe we need a workshop on how to constitutionally listen and communicate back and forth with the people that pay our salary, with the people whose chamber that is. It's not Ed Kelly's chamber. It's not Ed Kelly's chairs, and it's not in Ed Kelly's rules that guide our liberties. So maybe that would be a really important workshop to have, is how do we follow the Constitution? How do we keep our oath, both to the United States of America Constitution and the Florida Constitution, and our respect and responsibility to the people that we serve? That might be a good idea.
I think that is a wonderful idea. Well, the one thing I can tell you is that I think that King Kelly he has now asked for a whole big old ball of trouble, and that there's going to be a whole lot more signs, and there's going to be signs that are, that have phrases on them that he is really not going to like at all.
Well, perhaps it would be a good idea then, and I don't know if you're letting him know, but probably would be a good idea for Sheriff Chitwood to attend so he can witness it and see what's happening and know what's happening to his deputies. And it would be good to hear from him on this matter.
So what does a Brower chair look like? Tell me in 30 seconds or less.
Well, apparently this leads us to a big problem, and that there needs to be more respect given to the people that we serve, in the way meetings are conducted, the way people are treated, and maybe even in the time that meetings are held, so more people could participate. I believe we could avoid situations like this if people weren't so frustrated and thinking that their voices didn't matter, that they weren't heard. And so I'm going to encourage, in fact, I would require that everybody on that council, my 6 co-servants, treat the people with absolutely respect, understand the Constitution, and make it a place where people can come and redress their government, a very constitutional thing, without fear. And most people that come there are scared to death when they get up and take their 3 minutes. And so I have a lot of respect for them when they step out and do that. So what my chairmanship would look like is that the people have a voice again, that they matter, not just the largest campaign contributors, but everybody that lives and pays taxes and is a resident of Volusia County. It's time to restore trust in government, and this is not the way to do it. So it's a long road ahead.
Well, and I want my audience to know that one of the reasons that you were one of the people copied on the email that I sent out is because I've actually met Mr. Brower a couple of times at some local events that were going on, and I've met his family. I could not, you could not ask to meet a nicer, more genuine bunch of people than he and his family. Wonderful, his wife, absolutely wonderful woman, some of the most respectful kids I've ever seen. And you definitely have my vote, and hopefully we'll get you a lot more.
Well, that's humbling. Thank you very much for those words. I know that you're not easily convinced, and like I just said, you approach this with a great deal of distrust. And unfortunately, most of the people that I talk to, it may be 100%. There's distrust. That's one of the things I always hear. Well, we've met you. We like you, we feel like we can trust you, but man, we voted for so many people that we thought that was true, and 2 weeks into what we thought was going to be service, we found out that not only did they not tell us the truth, but we are supposed to serve them, not vice versa. There's a big trust issue, and I want to reverse that. I want to give the people some encouragement back. So thank you again for reaching out.
Well, and I think that anybody who knows me, anybody who watches, the videos on my channel, they know that I am going to be the biggest critic that you'll find. That yes, I approach everything when it comes to government with a certain level of distrust. I tend to not have any faith in anybody who wants to be part of this clown show. simply because I've seen what happens once they get up there.
We've had tense conversations, haven't we?
Yeah, and you know what? I can honestly say that I have faith, at least right now, that if you join this clown show, you're not going to be the head clown. You're going to be the guy that's going to be trying to corral these. And I know it's going to be like herding cats, but you know what? I think that you'll do the best job you can.
I will do that, and I'll expect to hear from the people that put me in that chair. We need accountability, and we need it often. Everybody up there does. So I expect that this is not the last time that I'll hear from you.
Oh no, I'm sure as all this marches forward, hopefully we will definitely talk again. Real quick, tell my audience how they can reach you if they want to reach out and ask you questions. What's the best way to get a hold of you?
Thank you. That's a great question, because the whole campaign just changed because of social distancing. So that we're going to be doing some video town halls, a lot of internet events, so that we can talk to people. They can reach me by email at jeffbrower 4vcc@gmail.com. I'm on Facebook. I have a web page, Jeff Brower, VCC1.com, and I'd love to hear from people. So email me, go to the website and read about me, and then ask me questions. I need to hear from the people. Everybody wants to know what my platform is, what my position is, and that's very important. I also want to know what do you see? What do you want for the future of Volusia County? What I want, and it's real simple. I want us to have a place where we can enjoy living, where it's safe, where our children can choose to stay here and live and raise their own families and work here, and not be afraid, be able to actually drink the water and not have to sit in traffic for 2 hours to get to the corner store every day. So that's my goal. But I want to hear what the people's thoughts and goals are. What's their vision? So I'm their representative.
Thank you so much. I will make sure you will find his email address and his website in the description below. So thank you, Mr. Brower. From the Liberty Cause, please like, share, and subscribe. And we will be talking to Jeff again as his campaign moves forward to see how things are going. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate the time.